We're going to continue on with today's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availability with none other than Darrell Wallace Jr., driver of the number 43 Smithfield Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports. Bubba, this has been quite an eventful week for you. Could you please just walk us through what this week has been like from your perspective?
Yeah, it's been a little busy, but not too bad. I think we kind of were able to manage it. I was able to manage a little bit, not let it get the highs too high, and still be able to focus on this weekend. That's the biggest thing. What an incredible opportunity for me. You know, when you said the driver, the number 43, it took a minute. Had a nice ring to it, though, so I like that. But we're just out here to have fun. I'm treating it just like I'm walking around the Xfinity garage, a little bit more crowded. But there's nothing different from the game plan for me. It's just to go out and do the best I can, not only for myself, but for everybody involved in this, you know, for Richard Petty himself, his whole family, Eric and his family, to help get through this process and get him back on the racetrack, and for Smithfield, for Ford, and everybody at RPM. It's going to be fun.
Outstanding. We're going to go ahead and open the floor for questions. We'll start up here with Joseph and work our way around.
Joseph Walken, frontstretch.com. How much pressure is there on you for the next few weeks while you're filling in for Eric?
Yeah, there's a little bit. I mean, you got a lot of people wanting to see how I'll run and see how I'll do against the Cup guys. I think in years past there was a lot of pressure added just for myself. And today I feel great. I feel, you know, good about getting in the car. I don't have to overstep anything. I don't have to do anything special. For us, it's just to get the balance right. We decided to pick the weekend where I get the least amount of practice as possible. We only get one session today, one session Saturday. So there's a lot of big factors going into this to make it a special weekend. But as far as pressure, just a little bit. I'm okay, though.
We'll go next to Holly, then to Dominic, then to Zach.
Hi, congratulations
Thank you.
to you. I was just curious, now that you're actually here and walking around the garage, kind of the reception from people that have known you throughout your racing, and also kind of what your immediate what their help has been to you, I guess is the better way to say it. Have you even asked for any, or, you know, kind of what is the scene like?
Yeah, Jimmy had reached out. Jimmy Johnson had reached out as soon as pretty much we announced it. And he said, "See you on Sundays now, bro." And I was like, "All right, that's cool. That's really cool there." And he said if I needed anything to reach out to him, so I'm gonna try to grab him or meet up with him before practice and after practice, and just to I just asked him what do I need to expect, and so there's nothing to it. At the end of the day, it's just a race car, a little bit more horsepower. Just a little bit bigger venue, a little bit bigger crowd. But at the end of the day, I've been waiting for this moment for 15 years, however long I've been racing, a long time. And now it's finally here, so it's just another stroll in the park.
Dominic
Ottagon with the RacingExperts.com. So you have a chance at history this weekend. If you're able to win in your debut, you'd become the 7th driver in NASCAR history and the first in 54 years. What would that mean to you if you could find victory lane Sunday?
You've done some digging there for that one. That's a big task. But hey, anything's possible. You put your mind to it, right? And you know, I believe that we can win each and every weekend. So if the opportunity presents itself, then we got to be able to capitalize on it and manage what we have in front of us. But that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know what much more I can say on that. I'd love to win a race. It's been a little bit. But it'd be special. It'd be a huge historical impact, like you say. But let's just get through practice and qualifying and make sure we can keep all 4 tires on right now.
Go next to Zach.
Zach Sterniola with the Pocono Record. Obviously, you've had a couple of starts here in the past, 2 truck starts, an Xfinity start. What do you feel like, how much do you feel like that prior experience here is going to help you, if at all? And what are your personal expectations coming into this weekend alone?
Yeah, I think for the starts that we've had here, I've always run okay here, run decent, and it's just one of those places. It's tricky. It's tricky triangle for a reason, and it's tough to figure out and tough to get a rhythm. And a lot of people say that. So I spent a little bit more time on the simulator this week, coming up, building up to this day, and we'll see how that translates over. But expectations, I mean, we really have to see how we unload off the truck. Our first couple laps might be a little bit more off than we should be, just for me getting comfortable, getting used to it, getting a rhythm down. But then as we start getting later into practice and closer to race day, you'll start to see where we kind of stack up. And I would say, you base your speeds off of practice and see where you end up, but we'd be 18th to 15th to 18th on Xfinity practice, and we ended up 5 times in a row. So you just never know how these races go. If you can manage your race and run a smooth, clean race and be there at the end, some of these guys are going to fall out from mechanical or from error, and you gotta be able to capitalize on that. So I'm looking just for a good, solid race and gaining respect from the veterans here, and to prove everybody that I belong in the series.
We'll go next to Lee, then to Kenny.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The rumors have been around, even though you were having a great consistent year, fourth in points on the Xfinity side, the rumors have been around for about a month that Daytona would probably be the end of the road.
Mm-hmm.
How humbling was it knowing that you might be out of a job before the door opened and you got this opportunity? What was going through your mind then?
Yeah, it all kind of meshed together. We knew it'd be a limited schedule before the season started. And for sure, with how we unloaded at starting at Atlanta and all the way through finishing sixth, that we would get us a win, and you can take the rest of the season off. Then you're locked into the playoffs. I always say that. So I don't know why teams don't save money. Just stay at the house. You'll be at Chicago the first race, Kentucky, one of those. Change up the schedule every day. I don't know. But for me, it was all right around the same time. We're getting close to crunch time. Pocono's our last race, and the unfortunate accident with Eric happened, and we were making phone calls and trying to see what we can do. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's fighting for a seat, no matter who it is. Jimmy could be out in a couple years, but you're already fighting for it. You're trying to get in there, or it doesn't matter who it is. It's all about the upcoming talent coming up through the sport, and we're always ready for that next ride that opens up. So. For me,
Has it been like a rush of emotions, though, wondering, okay, will I race again, or will, and then this happens?
oh yeah, no doubt. There was a lot of sleepless nights. You can ask my girlfriend. I was pretty stressed out a couple of days leading up to this, and when you're a young guy, I feel like I'm a young guy. I feel old sometimes, but it's pretty stressful now that I understand the business and life itself. It's pretty devastating not knowing what's next. It's like, hell, I didn't go to college, so I don't know what I'm going to do. The biggest thing for me was just trying to keep that in check and keep those emotions in check. And I think if you go back to Charlotte, that was where I did not keep them in check and really let it get a hold of me, and we ended up 28th or 30th, wherever it was. Just because I added that extra pressure to myself, and that's one thing I'm not trying to do this weekend. Is hopefully Eric's back next week. That's how fast we want it to, but we want 100%. But if it's one race for me, if it's 5 races for me, it's just 5 races, and it's nothing more than that. It's just go out there and do what I can do best. Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Kenny, then to Dustin, then to Reed.
Good morning. I'm Kenny with SSP TV. Can you just talk about why representation is so important in NASCAR? This might be a silly parallel, but my wife was so pumped to go see the Wonder Woman movie last week to see like a strong female lead, and just talk about the importance of it.
I mean, this is huge for the sport. How was that movie, by the way? Was it all right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna save that one for the memory bank. Go check that out. But from the African American side of this, it's huge. And if you know me, I've been in the sport for a little bit, a couple days, and I usually let the results speak for itself. But I think today and this weekend, and really leading up all this week, it's been about the historical side from the African American side, and I mean it's huge. Since 2006, since Bill Lester. Me winning that race back in 2013, the first in 50 years, it's big, and it's got to be talked about. And I understand that. I get that side of it. But, for me, I don't pay attention to that. I pay attention to it, but I don't label that on myself as we're out there. African-American just passed this guy first time in 12 days. It's just way too much. That'll probably be an article coming up soon from somebody in here. He just made his first pass. But for me, you got to look at it from that point, because it's just not enough faces in the sport. And so for me now, it's hopefully a kid will turn on the TV and be like, Mom, Dad, that guy looks like me somewhat. I probably look worse than them. And they'll want to try this sport out. And it's all about seeing a familiar face and following that footstep. So hopefully I represent that the best way I can and be the best role model that I can for this weekend and the remaining weeks that I have.
Come up front to Dustin.
Dustin Albino, frontstretch.com. Darrell, congrats on the ride, first of all. How influential has Jack Roush been on you in this process, and has he given you any advice leading up to this race?
Yeah, we've been so busy. I'm bummed that I haven't been able to go check out my Xfinity guys over there. I've been doing a lot of stuff leading up to this, so haven't got to talk to Jack about it either. But thankful for the opportunity with everybody there at RFR. An unfortunate 2 years and change without a win, but we were definitely there each and every weekend to prove that we were fast. We had cars. We just could not finish it out. But it was a fun 2 years, hard fought. We were definitely on the rebound and making progress to get back to where old Roush was. And it's been cool to see Jack come to the racetrack pumped up and smiling. So that was always special, knowing that we were kind of helping him, get those feel-good, moments back and leading laps these last couple races and winning stages for him, for the company. It's been a whole new attitude this year with Ryan winning at Daytona right out of the bat. That was cool. And then Ricky winning at Talladega. That was I wouldn't say the icing on the cake, but that definitely helped out for sure. So I felt like it was mine or Trevor's turn this year, this weekend, which both would be great. It'd be badass to do Xfinity and Cup this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. But Jack's been a huge help for my career. If it wasn't for him, then I don't know if this opportunity would be here. There's a lot of people that are involved in this opportunity today.
We'll go to Reed, then to Chris.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. I was struck by something you said on the teleconference the other day about sometimes you lose your cool.
Mm-hmm.
And basically here you talked about emotions boiling over. Do you think that has held you back in any way and limited your opportunities, and is that something you're really conscious of now?
I think it's hurt me a couple times. We have like Charlotte was a bad pit stop, and I just could not let that go, and that cost us in a good finish. We were a good car. I don't know if we were going to be able to get back up to the top 4 where we should have been, but top 10 would have been really good instead of 28th, and I did not think about that. I thought about it after the fact when we hit the wall. But it was already too late. But there's been some races that have been like that. But this year, I think last year was really tough on us because we would show up and practice 20th and run 15th all day, and knowing that myself and Ryan Reed were way faster than where we're running, and that was frustrating, and we just couldn't do anything about it. And I think that's where a lot of the frustrating moments came from. But this year, finishing 6th a lot of times, leading laps. It's been a good year. Just besides that win column is still blank. It's been a lot easier to manage those emotions, just showing up and having the speed, knowing, going into Dover this past weekend, I was so pumped up 3 days in advance just because of the speed we've had in previous weeks. Last year, it doesn't matter if I could qualify on the pole by 2/10 at Dover, we were not going to do it. We were just off, and we weren't going to run in top 10. And that's just how frustrating it was going into that weekend. But now it's a different mindset. It's been fun, like I said, to go to the racetrack and be there and run fast.
Come up front to Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Congrats on
Thanks.
everything that's going on. It's really cool. I'll talk about the Xfinity program. I know that from what I've been able to gather, that Ty Majeski's your crew will be actually helping out Ty Majeski in a couple weeks. But what about for you after the Cup opportunity? If you get to stay in the Cup car, great. But are you guys focused on running any more Xfinity races this year? And then how do you feel about going to Sonoma in a couple weeks and going to one of the racetracks that you've never been to?
Yeah, that's going to be fun for sure. We're still trying to figure out what's next for the Xfinity side. I know Ty makes his start in Iowa, which is, 3 weeks away? But right now, it's just for me be focused on this weekend, not worry about what's after Pocono, although I know I'm in at Michigan for the Cup car. But for Xfinity side, it's just to go out and we get 2 practices today to get it dialed in for tomorrow. And this is the weekend. This is the opportunity where we can't be backed up any further in the corner of the wall, and we got to come out swinging, but doing that all in the positive and the right way. and be able to close out the season with a win. So I have a ton of confidence coming in this weekend to be able to do that, and that's what I'm focused on the most. And hopefully things will open up after that. You know, one door closes, another one opens up.
Do we have additional questions for Bubba? Bubba, congratulations
Cool. Thank
again
you.
on the ride, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.